Good morning freelancers, welcome to another Anthem video. I'm PTT and today we're going to look at a topic that I know many in the games community want to know about. I am of course talking about Anthem's ability to be played as a solo player. Now before we kick off, let me mention a fellow Anthem content creator known as Your Anthem. He's a brilliant new content creator that has an entire channel and Discord based on Anthem, and if you are a solo player looking for other freelancers to play with, then I highly recommend joining his Discord, and a link to that can be found in the video description. I'm also going to leave a link to his YouTube channel below because he's currently producing some amazing content on Anthem right now, and I have no doubt he will blow up to be one of the biggest community creators going by the end of the year. So yeah, definitely head on over guys and show him some love. With that aside, let's just jump straight into it. So where do we start off? Well, let's start with the story, as this is the first thing we're all going to be facing. The bottom line here is that yes, the entirety of Anthem's story will be playable solo. The next obvious question is just how tough will solo play be? And well, that depends on a multitude of things really. The game's difficulty level obviously for one, but other aspects like your playstyle, your javelin build and more will all come into play very heavily if you do indeed intend to play Anthem solo. Now the upside of this is that the devs have confirmed that the world will scale to the amount of people in your group as to make a solo experience rewarding and possible. So depending on how good you become at the game will probably be more of a defining factor as to how easy the solo experience will be compared to anything else. Now I did say that the entirety of the story will be playable solo, and that is true. There is however one minor exception to this, and that is free roam mode. Now the reason this is a minor exception is because it's not actually part of the story, but this is an area where you will be instanced with 3 other freelancers. Now personally I don't think that it is too much of an issue even for the most dedicated of solo players, because you know, one, the world is immensely big and the chances of actually running into said other players is extremely low, and two, even though you are instanced with other people, you can opt to play entirely solo and not team with the other people in your instance. And of course, providing you're not grouped with any of them, you will still experience the game the solo way in terms of loot drops and progression. Now I know that for some people this may be a bit of a slight issue, and as a player that will probably spend a lot of their time by themselves, yes, I would very much like to be able to load in solo. But when we look at games like Destiny and other games in this genre, we see that it is actually a very frequent occurrence for these kind of games to instance other players in the same public area but have no effect on your personal game. So yeah, I think if you're a solo player you will be fine here. It just may take some getting used to depending on your personal gaming experiences. Next then, let's talk about endgame, because no matter if you're a team player or a solo player, the ultimate goal is to reach and complete the game's endgame activities. After all, this is where you will get some of the best loot in game. Now as much as we know so far, there will be some in-game activities like legendary contracts that will be achievable as a solo player, but some endgame activities like strongholds will not be, as they are match made if you attempt to load into them solo. Again, as a comparison, we look to Destiny and say their strike system. Now personally I don't actually have an issue with this. One of my biggest gripes with many games is the lack of matchmaking at endgame and the inability for solo players to actually complete them. So to see that Anthem have already taken it on their own to implement endgame matchmaking just goes to show once again that I believe they have indeed been listening to the wider gaming community's likes and dislikes in games of a similar genre. Now how far you will be able to go as a solo player into endgame activities does still remain a mystery, as obviously the game isn't out yet and we are still unsure exactly how much endgame content there will be. But the dev team have iterated on many occasions that while team play was their focus with Anthem, the game can for sure be played solo, and there is no reason they can foresee at the moment why a solo player can't get to the level of Grandmaster 3. It will just take a lot of time and dedication to do so. Overall then, I do feel that while a solo player may indeed be in for a long tough slug to achieve the aforementioned Grandmaster level, it is indeed possible, and the solo experience is shaping up to be probably one of the best on the market, but you know, we are going to have to wait and see, so only time will tell. For now then guys, I am going to wrap up the video, but be assured the solo experience is definitely something we will come back to cover later down the line, and of course I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, let me take a moment to thank you for watching the video. Have a good day, and until the next one, I'll catch you all soon.